You love a good road trip, right? You grab some chips, a couple of energy drinks, maybe a gas station taquito, and you're set for a few hours. Well, if you were a soldier in Genghis Khan's army, your road trips lasted for months, covered thousands of miles, and there was exactly 0 stops at a 7-Eleven. Instead, your menu consisted of 2 things: horse blood and fermented mare's milk. See, the Mongol army moved at an absolute breakneck speed because they didn't rely on massive, slow supply wagons. Every warrior traveled with a string of 4 to 5 horses. If they ran out of food on the march, they didn't stop to hunt. A soldier would make a tiny incision in his horse's neck, drink a few gulps of the warm blood directly from the vein, patch up the horse, and keep riding. And then there's Irag, which is fermented horse milk. It's sour, it's alcoholic, and it smells like a wet barn.
Hey man, I'm starving. What's for dinner tonight?
Oh, sweet! We have sour horse milk, followed by a side of more horse milk.
Can we at least cook the meat we got from that raid?
No time. Just put the raw steak under your saddle. The friction and horse sweat will tenderize it by tomorrow morning.
Yeah, you heard that right. They would put raw meat under their saddles, so the friction, heat, and salty horse sweat would cook and preserve it while they rode. If you have a sensitive stomach, one day on the Mongol trail would have you throwing up your lungs before you even saw an enemy blade. If you thought Amazon Prime's same-day delivery was fast, you clearly haven't heard of the R2, also known as the Yam System. This was the Empire's postal relay network, and it was the most sophisticated communication grid the world had ever seen. It consisted of a massive chain of relay stations, spaced about 25 to 30 miles apart. Messengers would ride at an absolute sprint, arrive at a station, immediately hop onto a fresh, rested horse, and blast off to the next one. These guys could cover up to 200 miles a day. For my metric fellas out there, that's over 32 million centimeters of pure, unfiltered speed every single day. But being a rider for the Yam System was a death sentence for your spine. To survive the constant, violent jarring of riding a horse at a full gallop for 14 hours straight, messengers had to wrap their stomachs and chests tightly in bandages to keep their internal organs from literally rupturing or liquefying from the vibrations. You're not just dealing with saddle sore, you're clenching your buttholes to every single bump, praying your liver doesn't detach from your rib cage. Let's say you survive the diet, and you don't mind the organ-shattering horse rides. You still have to deal with the Yassa, the secret, unwritten code of laws compiled by Genghis Khan himself. And let me tell you, the Yassa did not believe in community service or a light slap on the wrist. Almost everything carried the death penalty. For example, the Mongols absolutely worshipped nature and water sources. If you were caught washing your dirty clothes or bathing in running water during the summer, they believed it would trigger lightning storms. The punishment? Death, of course. If you dropped your whip while riding and didn't pick it up immediately, or if someone else picked it up without your permission, death, of course. But the most famous rule was the threshold law.
Hey, welcome to my yurt. Come on in.
Thanks, man. Nice place you got here. Whoops!
Oh, dude. You just stepped on the wooden threshold of the door frame.
Haha, my bad. Tripped a little.
Yeah, so the guards are outside to execute you now. It was nice knowing you.
To the Mongols, the threshold of a tent, or ger, represented the neck of the household leader. Stepping on it was seen as an insult to the master of the house and an omen of bad luck. If you stepped on the threshold of an imperial tent, you were executed on the spot. No trial, no appeals, just a quick ticket to the afterlife because you lacked basic spatial awareness. If you were on the receiving end of a Mongol siege, your chances of survival dropped to 0 real quick. They were masters of psychological warfare, but in 1346, during the siege of the Genoese-controlled city of Kaffa in Crimea, they took things to a whole new level of spooky dooky. While besieging the city, a massive outbreak of the Black Plague tore through the Mongol camp. Their soldiers were dropping like flies, oozing and festering from buboes. Instead of packing up and going home, the Mongol generals looked at the mountain of infected corpses and had a brilliant idea. They loaded the plague-ridden bodies onto their giant trebuchets and catapulted them directly over the city walls. Imagine sitting in your house, thinking you're safe behind 30-foot stone walls, and suddenly, a rotting, infected corpse flies through your roof like a fleshy missile. The stench alone was enough to kill, but the bacteria quickly spread, infecting the entire city. Historians actually believe this specific event was one of the primary catalysts that brought the Black Plague into Western Europe, eventually deleting a third of the continent's population. Let's say you're a king or a noble prince of a captured city. You might think, hey, I'm royalty. Surely they'll treat me with a little respect and give me a quick, honorable death. They will give you a prestigious death, all right. But because of Mongol religious beliefs, shedding royal blood onto the earth was considered a massive sin that would curse the soil. So, to respect your royal status, they had to get creative with how they killed you without spilling a single drop of blood. Take Inalchuk, the governor of Otrar, who had insulted a Mongol caravan. When they finally captured him, they reportedly executed him by pouring molten silver directly into his eyes and ears. If you were the Russian princes captured at the Battle of the Kalka River, they had an even more intimate celebration for you. They laid all the captured princes flat on the ground, placed a massive wooden platform over their bodies, and then the Mongol generals sat on top of the platform to eat their victory feast.
Pass the mutton, Subutai. This steak is cooked perfectly.
Help! Can't breathe!
Did you hear something under the floorboards, Bob?
Nah, probably just the wind. Drink up, champ.
The princes were slowly crushed and suffocated to death over several hours, while the generals sang and cheered right above them. The Mongol Empire was a massive, girthy machine that crushed everything in its path. It didn't care about your rights, your diet, or your modern sensibilities. So look at your uncrushed ribs and be glad you aren't drinking horse blood under a wooden dinner table. Wild, right?